Right. This is, I want you to notice, the only attribute of God which is named 3 times. It's the thrice-holy God. You don't ever read good is the Lord, right? But holy. So, first and fundamental calling is to a God who is holy. You remember that which we considered just now. Verse 5, then said I, woe is me, for I am undone, I am ruined, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For mine eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. Now here is the climax, cry of someone who meets with utter despair of himself because of the clash between his own sinfulness and the holiness of God. That is what happens when we truly meet God. You won't be light and superficial. You will be overcome with a great sense of loathing for yourself. And this is the only thing that can deliver you from a love of yourself. Now this is not, I'm afraid, what you normally hear, even from some pulpits. We are told, you should love yourself to boost up your self-esteem and so on. That will come by and by when you get a right estimate of yourself before God. Until you truly see yourself for who you are, in all your sinfulness, in the light of the glory, the truth, the holiness of God, you are living a lie. It's a delusion. You may think you're great, you're grand, but you're not. A real loathe for yourself. And this is what he saw in that moment of encounter. Verse 6, there flew one of the seraphims unto me, having a live coal. That's why you get the coal fire, right? In his hand, which he had taken with the thongs from off the altar. And he laid it upon my mouth, and said, Lo, this has touched your lips, and your iniquity is taken away, and your sin is purged. He was made clean and holy. And this is where it must begin. Until and unless I have this revelation of a holy God, and this revelation of how sinful I am, I can be of no use to God. It's the mark of a spiritual progression. You look at what Paul says in the different epistles. Early in his ministry, one time he said, I'm the least of the apostles. The apostles, the pillars of the church, there are 12, and then there are the others, but I'm the least. And then, towards the end of his life, what did he say? He didn't move higher, he moved all the way down. He says, I'm the chief of sinners. The chief of sinners. You would have thought he would have progressed beyond that. Chief of sinners. The mark of a truly humble and holy man is he realizes more and more that he can do nothing apart from God. This is the beginning. It is also the thing that will carry us through. Verse 8, also I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then he said, Here I am, send me. We must have the sense of being sent. When we hear God's call and we're ready to respond, what He'll do is He sends us. Don't ever let the thought enter into you, I'm of no use where I am. Well, you certainly can be of no use if you are not somewhere else. So, encourage yourself with this thought. In the place where God has dumped you, if I put it bluntly, in that place, you pray, you seek the Lord, you enter into the place where you can begin to overhear the call of God. And then you're in the place to answer, "Here I am, send me." It's about availability, right? It's about availability. It's not ability. And when you hear and overhear the call of God, you can respond. This is what it means. Now, you know, there's a verse which I used to have difficulty, and I'm sure a lot of people have difficulty in trying to understand what it means. Many are called, few are chosen, right? So we say, well, maybe it's a general call to everybody, and so we just wait until we get called, right? And then we go, we do something about it. Now, what it practically means is this, because what happens if you know, I'm still waiting for the call. What happens is this. The meaning is, when few are chosen, why is it few are chosen? Is because few have made the choice to answer the call of God, and thereby prove that they have been chosen. This is what it means. Few are chosen. So we say here, you know, maybe I'm not one of those. It's not. It's your call. It's not God's call from that point of view. Few are chosen because few have made the choice to answer the call of God, and therefore prove themselves chosen. Now, I started out with this simple phrase, quote from Oswald Chambers, "The need is not the call." I want to quote to you from another well-known writer, and in a sense maybe she is more qualified to comment on missions because she is a career missionary, Isabel Kuhn, who labored among the Yunnan tribes in China. She said in her autobiography, By Searching, "The need is the call." Seems to be the opposite, right? One great man of God says the need is not the call. Great woman of God says the need is the call.